And the lane is also looking pretty rough to go up against. TNC could still look for the carry to go up with the Lich, but it's still very annoying to play against.
It might be a carry Undying. It is not out of the question. Though I think Morphling really does suffer against the Undying. You already have very low amounts of strength, or you want to have low amounts of strength, and he even takes more of that. So you can very easily die from like a soul rip at level 2, level 3. So that is a big thing. And I think this Morphling needs to be kept down in this game, because playing a Morphling with an Undying is much less scary than playing against a Morphling when you are an Undying, because you're going to be dealing with a Tombstone yourself.
Yeah. And also, like, both of these teams have neglected Mars completely. No pick, no ban, which I'm a bit surprised about. Probably because of the Visage and the Pango picked up so early, especially with the Undying added into the mix as well, that they just don't see the need for it.
Enchantress.
We're gonna go for a Bombi. This does strengthen up Lilgun's safe lane, unless they decide to play it as a 4. But I do like the idea of putting Visage Marcy in the lane again. Like, I talked about this in the Game 1 draft, that is a very deadly duo. And Enchantress enables your safe lane by so much. And it's a pretty good damn hero. Pretty damn good hero, at least, in terms of what you're going up against.
It's one of those heroes that can definitely trade with the Hoodwink. If Morphling is 1 versus 1 against the Undying, he won't have the best time, but he's gonna have an okay time. So Hoodwink usually this annoying hero, but Enchantress is even more annoying. And once you start getting those creeps, the Undying isn't gonna be as big of a force as he usually is. You mentioned the Mars. You know, on one side you have a Pango, so Lilgun don't want to get it. On the other side you have a Morphling, so TNC don't want to get it. So Mars, I think, is just gonna be completely discarded here.
Out of the picture.
Maybe TNC pick it if they want to play a carry Undying, but I kind of doubt it.
Well, I mean, we've seen a couple teams play the carry Undying in the latest tournaments, like the qualifiers, for example. SCA most known for it as well. Ana with the offlane played carry Undying, and I think there was one carry Undying game we did actually see. I think it was even in this tournament. It was yesterday, right?
If I remember correctly, the one who started the trend, at least in terms of competitive games that I watched in Southeast Asia with the carry Undying, it was Spelos like half a year ago or even a year ago. He started it with the Echo Saber, just farming the Ancients and stuff like that. So he's the one that did it. Now with the buffs to the Undying, it's being played even more. But even before that happened, there was someone playing it. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Spelos. I think I've watched enough games, and I'm pretty certain it is him.
It actually was Lilgun, but 11 was playing it offlane, so probably knows some of the quirks, what are demanded for this offlane Undying, things to be worried about, how to play against it. Last picks though, Ursa Slark Band, Kunkka, Puck.
5 seconds.
How do TNC counter the morph? Do you even go for a direct counter towards it? I'm not sure. I think you have to. You just don't have that great of a hero composition to deal with the morph. No instant stun, no burst damage from afar that's gonna kill him. Sharpshooter is nice, but he can hear it. So I kind of feel like you need a counter for the morphling. PL does sound solid, but you didn't ban out the Lesh. So those illusion-based heroes would be great. But with the Lesh still in pool, I don't see it happening. I still want to see a Drow, though. But this time around, there are a lot of things that can get on top of her.
Yeah, Drow can definitely get jumped by either team. You're right about the combo. How to kill the Morphling would have to be Bushwhack into Rolling Thunder, which is already 2 big abilities. It also requires you to actually land it onto the Morphling to get the Sharpshooter to follow up and get the damage to take the hero down. So TNC does either need burst damage or sustain physical damage. And Morphling's still an edgy hero, so you don't have great minus armor comp coming in. You do need a tower hitter. Nobody hits towers on TNC's side.
Yeah, so I guess Terrorblade then comes out as the best one.
Yeah, TB seems like a good pick.
Anti-Mage.
We forgot about the Anti-Mage, which actually seems really good here. Actually, is this a mid-primal beast? Is this no? Yeah, it's a mid-primal beast.
That's a carry enchantress, by the way. That's a carry enchantress for 4/2/3.
Yeah.
Okay then.
This thing. Actually, Anti-Mage hates playing against the farmed Enchantress, to be honest. Anti-Mage hates playing against the farm Marcy as well. Kishka last game was able to get some farm. The catch on the side of Lilgun is very limited. I want to see the interaction between the third spell of the Anti-Mage with the Primal Beast. Do you start smashing him into the ground? That would be very interesting to see. But overall, this is a solid AM pick, just because the catch is very limited on Lilgun. Yeah, he isn't happy dealing with the impetus spear damage. He's not happy with the Marcy punching his face. But he's gonna be able to go in and out as much as he wants in this fight. And considering Carlo was playing so well, with the Hoodwink, he's gonna be the one setting things up. The only thing now we have to look at how is the lane gonna be for Anti-Mage, and actually gonna be quite decent. You can even start off with the third spell, kind of repel those soul assumptions, and it's not gonna be that big of a deal towards you. So I'm liking TNC. I'm gonna be leaning their side.
Pretty wild draft in terms of maybe from Lilgun's side. I mean, I like the Morphling versus Pango matchup for Lilgun. Enchantress versus Undying, though. How does that
it's
work
good.
out? You think it's good for Enchantress?
Yeah, I think it's actually solid. If Primal Beast is able to kind of keep Carlo away somewhat, Enchantress can farm in that lane, and once you hit a couple of levels, you get more points in Impetus. Undying is actually going to be in a world of hurt. So, you know, level 1, level 2, Undying is always a problem, but the Enchantress can survive, and then later on, I think 4-3 can have a good time. They didn't pick this for no reason. They probably know what they're doing.
Well, I definitely do hope they do know what they're doing, because game number 1, I don't think either team were exactly sure about what the heck is happening at specific stages of the game, especially the last 24, 25 minutes. It was a roller coaster, for sure. But this one, does it prove to be just like game number 1? Ladies and gents, this is the final game of the day. Our last best of 2, and the last map of a best of 2. Or series of 2, whichever you like to call. Lilgun versus TNC. Both teams lost their series yesterday. Lilgun now scored their first W. Can they take a 2-0, or are we going to see TNC jump back, tie it up, and get a point?
It's a 1-1 day, Panda. Follow the script, please. Follow the script, please. It's a 1-1 day.
Yep, if we follow the script, TNC should win this one. But I'm all in for surprises. I think I've always been kind of a... I've never been a person who hates surprises. So I would like to see Lilgun make this lineup work out, because, you know, there's a carry Enchantress. I mean, how can I not get excited about it? Like, memey or weird or untraditional or unorthodox. And I'm using that last word on emphasis because you don't get to see it too often. I would like to see it work.
I have to say though, I'd be happier with a support Enchantress in this game. I want 4-3 to play it aggressively, because when you look at TNC, until they get items, they don't really have the tools to kill the Enchantress. So she can definitely stay in their jungle continually farming. So I want 4-3 to use that farm to play like a support Enchantress on the enemy side of the map, farming their jungle and actually baiting them to go for him, giving so much vision to his team. But we're gonna see a fight very early on here, Panda.
Yeah, they are gonna surprise 4-2-3, and that's gonna be the targeted carry being taken down by the looks of an Acorn Shot's going to be finishing it off for Carlo. As 4-2-3 taken down. And of course it is the Hoodwink. Just like in game number 1, the Playmaker. Enabled early on here, but Kishka gonna get the jump onto Carlo for the time being. A couple hits. Traded off, but 11 doesn't get the soul assumption off on time. And that also means your ward is gone. You just revealed it.
Asta wants a Vanguard this game. Asta wants a Vanguard this game. I don't know if I agree. I love the Vanguard, the Diffusal Blade AM. It is a big Morphling counter, but I think that a Battle Fury, Manta, Scotty, you get that at like 25 to 28 minutes into the game and you're gonna win. So I don't think you have to risk it. I'm gonna love it if he goes for the Vanguard treads into a Diffusal Blade. It will be making Morphling's life really hard, especially because Pango will have the Diffusal as well. But I think it's just an easier path to victory with the Battle Fury in this game in particular.
Yeah, I like the Battle Fury idea. Maybe even not even that game to have a Halberd, for example, on the Anti-Mage, if that's what you really want to add up to your team fight would would let you fight a bit more aggressively. Even though Anti-Mage is always known as the, you know, last come, last serve type of hero. Comes for the easy pickings, but usually they're not sure if there's ever a lot of meat left on the table to be picked up, for the caterers have already taken it away. But in some cases, maybe you can build yourself into a bit of a tankier hero and have more presence.
Until the timing comes, then you just jump in and out as you please. Bottom lane, we are seeing some brawling here. I like that TNC were able to force Ace to kind of stay in the lane. Carlo doesn't want to go to the side and fight him. He just wants to play around Bok, because if Ace and the 4-3 are close to each other, a double DK just crushes this lane completely.
Yep. Does Enchantress very low on max HP, so Carlo, with a bit of a surprise jump, might be able to just mute down the Enchantress, depending on how many decay stacks Bok's been able to throw in. While in the top lane, you can see a very low Asta and a very low Kiska. 11. Has a Mango and some stick charges, but the salve will be popped on Asta, so Mavis able to keep him up. And also the Soul Assumption charges, they run out. Won't be able to nuke it. Scary offlane duo to play against. I would not like to play against these two in my pubs.
For sure. No counter spell on Asta though. That's the reason why he took so much damage. He didn't even use the blink, so I'm kind of thinking the counter spell would have been much better. Maybe he was afraid of potentially Lilgun trying to capitalize on him not having the blink. But to be honest, I don't think they can. If there's a Frost Shield, if he can return one Soul Assumption, he most definitely wins the fight. And now Asta wants to go for the Ring of Health, and he will get it here.
I really like Lilgun's lineup in the firm that you have the Morphling. So even if this Enchantress doesn't work out, Morphling can still kind of transition into the main carry of the team. While Enchantress, like you said, would play a bit more support-y. Or at least you were maybe talking about the farming patterns and the map presence more in specific. But I would still like the idea of actually having the Enchantress be more of a support type hero for the Morphling and just dish out damage as kind of like a fire support.
Yeah, you know, you just farm in a place where you naturally wouldn't as a carry, right? And then you're kind of taunting the enemies to go for you, which they naturally don't want to do. If you're farming safely with the Enchantress, they just don't care. They're gonna ignore you. But if you're farming in front of their base, it's gonna be a problem. Top lane.
Yeah, they're brawling in the bot lane as in the top lane. At the same time, Kiska taking some hits from Asta. Ace also was attempting for a bit of a charge play onto Carlo or Bok. Enchantress now with the enchant. They have good potential for a kill here. Slows into impetus spears. No tombstone for Bok. 2 points in decay.
It's a bit quiet right now. I don't see many potentials for a kill. Top lane would be the best one, but for it to happen, I think Lilgun need to overextend.
Are you a fan of quiet, you know, silence?
Magic is an abomination.
If I want to go to sleep, yes. During Dota, I'm actually a fan of a lot of noise. And Kishka,
one more hit, but he's got sticks. He's got fairy fires, so he's gonna need another blast to make sure. Oh, he loses vision.
Magic is an abomination.
So close to getting it. Now the bot lane, Bok's being chased by Ace, but Bok should be okay.
Structures are fortified.
4-3.
Looking around what's going on. 4-2-3-8. He beat all the way back home.
Everyone is so close to death.
We're living some exciting times here. Pango also takes a lot of damage from the Morphling. Full combo used. No mana for a swashbuckle unless he went for the straight one nuke. Kiska. Bottle refill for the Morphling. People take that back with open arms. Only one kill in the first 5 minutes. Enchantress with 10 CS. Not exactly how Lilgun wants to start the game off.
He went into the jungle 4-3, so yeah, it's gonna be a supporty Enchantress as you mentioned, and not because he wants to, but because he has to. The bottom lane just didn't go well. Yeah, as I mentioned, Carlo did everything well there. He just forced him to play.
Does get the blink out on the other side, running towards the tower.
He'll get the Vanguard. Let's go.
Yep, now he's going to be a bit more tankier. Extra HP increase. Going to make it a bit harder for the Visage on the Marcy to get the kill onto this AM now. He also has an extra tango given by Mavis. Brave chill. Visage is still great at trading right clicks, but hey, if we can't kill the AM, we might as well poke the Lich. A lot of
The AM
damage
is
dealt
now
though,
just
but
a-
oh no.
You can't tell
Oh
me what to
no.
do. I tell me what to do.
Oh, we missed that one, but Carlo definitely did, and Carlo snipes the Enchantress in the jungle and making 4-2-3's game even more miserable.
Yeah, 4-3 yesterday he had some bad times and it's just continuing. It's a little bit sad looking at him like this, but you know he
little
asked
bit.
for a core enchantress, and I actually think, you know, once you
lane.
hit like level 5 you can maybe do something.
Let's see if they can get this Mavis kill. No mana for a Soul Assumption, so Lich is going to man-fight all the way. Asta's going to get the kill first. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, though. Mavis and 11 both falling in that lane. And now the bot lane. Ace looking for the charge. Super connect on the Undying, but a Tombstone. They've spotted 4-2-3. Oh, you want to come back to the lane, huh? Well, we're not going to make your life feel that nice and cozy. Bok getting a lot of heals, and DP is coming in from the Morphling. Sanctity looking for some help here. Ace finishes off the Tombstone. Bushwhack will take down Ace. Sanctity here for the
Carlo's
kill
unfair.
on Bok, and Waveform she'll finish it off. Also means that 11 has TP'd into mid for the time being.
The second the Morphling comes to the bottom lane, and you know the mid lane is free. You want to defend the tower as much as possible, but Krish is using this one to his advantage.
Carlo is coming in.
I'll get over it.
They
Carlo,
got
who's
through
been
the trees.
already part of 3 out of the 4 kills, will also make himself known for the Visage. Mavis there for the backup, and Chris to get the kill. Carlo's sitting on a bank of 700 gold in his pocket. Catching up to the Visage and net worth, just like in game 1.
I don't know who's gonna be making plays for Lilgun. Enchantress, I talked about her being hard to kill. Not gonna be hard to kill in this game, just way too underfarmed. Morphling, not a space creator. Visage, not a space creator either. You need to get the tower down. If this top tower falls for Lilgun, I mean, TNC might have already won the game mid lane.
It might definitely be one of the cases. They find Chris under the tower, and 11 is coming into the top lane with a fresh smoke to get that extra movement speed and arrive in time. Anti-mage getting tossed around by Kishka. No counter spell popped. Asta really keeping an eye open on the Visage, and a lot of one charges there. He was about to drop the mana. Voice Sanctity is going to be here as well with a Morphling, and bounces back the counter spell. Doesn't do much here, but the second Soul Assumption will land on the target. So Asta down, tower denied. No extra gold given for TNC for this, but they do lose their carry for it.
Radiant's bottom tower is being
And yep.
A carry on the other side dies. Yeah, guys, if someone is actually wondering, it is a carry enchantress.
It is a carry
yes,
enchantress.
he is suffering. He is suffering for sure. You know what? Actually, I'm looking at this Lilgun lineup and I'm like, they can't make plays, right? But
Yeah,
when you
that's
look at the
kinda missing.
Morphling, I would actually want to get him, for him to get the Aghanim Scepter, get a Dragon Lance, then get an Axe, turn into an Anti-Mage, and you're gonna be an absolute beast.
Dire's top tower is
I like the idea. I like the way you're thinking, Harry. 4-2-3 calling in for the backup for the bottom tower, which has already fallen. Meanwhile, they're ganking 11. Asta, Mavis, Chris gonna be stacking on top of 11. 11 down. Pango finding the kill. Ace doesn't do much here for the Enchantress, but at least Inch is level 6. No untouchable leveled up. There's not a lot of right clicks to actually make that untouchable work. 3 points in impetus. Finishes off one of the creeps. Well,
Lane.
Tombstone is placed down. Kishka's going to be there. Sharpshoot from Carlo with the decay. Almost takes him down. 10 HP, and Bok will get
gone.
it. Bok will get it. Soul Rip to finish off the kill. And again, that's number 4
forced it to
for
run.
Bombi. Ace trying to get some damage onto Carlo, but Carlo's going to be standing his ground firmly with the Frost Armor. And a double kill for Bok, finishing off the safe lane off of Lilgun. And you said that top tower falls, that this game just might be over for Lilgun. Well, TNC's 3k ahead, 10 minutes into this game. It's looking good for them.
Yeah, the reason for it is because Lilgun need the top tower to fall so they can control the top part of the jungle. Not only for the Visage, but for the Enchantress as well. That's the part of the map that they want to be playing. With that tower falling, it's very hard for them to commit. And now I'm just going to be looking at Sanctity. This guy needs to make some plays that I'm currently not able to predict. So I'm ready for him to surprise me, to make some kind of a play, get kills, get on the top lane, get that tower, and open up the map for his team so that they can potentially play the game. Because with this pace, the pace that this is going, they won't get to play the game at all.
Hate those games. It's like that feeling of hopelessness, being alone, being all in the void. Asta knows all about it, but hey, he's got some cavalry coming up. Chris is going to be the one landing first. The TP, Bach and Carlo right after that. Visage going to get stunned up at the Rolling Thunder. That looks like TNC is going to be clearing out the Visage. Bach's also going to be there. They're hunting down the birds. Asta with another kill. That's not what Lilgun were hoping for. Lich is dying on the other side. He's got a good ulti though, landing on both of them. Mavis! Okay, he might be dead, but he's done his job. He's done his job. Bushwhack fails. Sharpshooter's on the way. Ace is trying to juke it around, trying to go back and forth, but he will be connected by the sharpshooter. TP should go through. Yup. No Bushwhack, but Mavis. Hats off.
Ace did get the revenge there. That's a big one. I like what Lilgun did on top lane. Now I understand why 11 was dying so many times. He was forcing himself onto the top lane trying to kill the tower. He gave his life so many times, but they got the tower. So at least the map is somewhat open. The thing is, can you get to the top lane?
When a dependent Ace is now charging in onto Bach. Look at the connection. There's the pulverize, the follow-up. They're going to be tossing around, but there's a lot of armor and a lot of survivability for Bach. They've also got Mavis with the taunts onto Sanctity, but Bach and Ace are both going to be going down. Chris still in the middle of both of them. Spells on cooldown. Should be able to take down 4-2-3 unless Keisha's got something to say about it. Mavis is down as well, and he misses the swashbuckle, and he's cliffed himself. He's just R2'd himself on top of the cliff. Chris, he's got enemies coming from all directions, and now Marcy's going to be challenging him for the King of the Hill. And 4-2-3 is dead. Marcy is stuck on the cliff. What the actual... that wasn't in the books of Lilgun. They're like, okay, we've got this Pango on the cliff. Let's just take our time easily here. We'll slow him down. We'll poke him to death. And then 4-2-3 dies. Carlo Hope. He is going in with the Bushwhack, and that's going to be 11 dead. Stalker in the invisible area.
Carlo is doing just an amazing job. Last game, this game as well. He's the one that is going to be setting up for the anti-mage to apply pressure. And AM is going to be going for the Battle Fury. He just wanted to apply that early pressure so that Lilgun can't overtake the game. And I love it. I actually love it. He's still going to have a ton of farm in this game. And once you hit that timing with the Manta Skadi, the game is just over. And you just made sure that you don't get crushed before that. Asta is just a genius.
Gauntlet challenge has been applied for the Pango and the Anti-Mage. Make it double. First one to die will lose that one. So, Wild West. I missed the bullseye stuff that we had. Was it last year or the year before? Ace is trying to charge an Anti-Mage, but doesn't quite connect. But you remember the bullseye where you're marking an opponent's player?
I remember. And I don't know, the 2020 to 2022 just disappeared, so I can't say. I'm gonna say it was.
So you were in a coma back then.
Ago. Yeah, everyone was. Kishka is gonna go into a coma as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming. Carlo, he wants the assist. Oh, he doesn't get this one. Honestly, I think Carlo should just keep improving his KDA. But he is denied.
On one side, we have a guy being killed. And on the other side, we have a guy not getting an assist, and Panda feels bad for the guy not having an assist.
Magic is an abomination.
A bit of a difference in priority here between you and me. I feel bad for the poor Marcy.
I mean, yeah. I guess my ex-support player mentality would say, "Oh, poor support," but hey, it's another support who's having a fun time. So, gotta look at the bright side of life.
Sanctity is being hunted. Look at Carlos' position. This is so cool. And he misses. They miss everything.
Yep, even the ult. Okay.
All of the excitement gone. All of the excitement is just gone.
Fake hype. Fake hype, Harry.
Yeah. Still,
getting
the
excited
plan for
myself.
Lilgun is the same. Play the top lane, try to delay the anti-mage's timings. And you know, his timings aren't going to be the greatest because of the Vanguard, but he's just so far ahead.
Oh
and
my God.
Lilgun, they can't even overtake the jungle properly with one hero. They need to use 4 of them. And then just keep Sanctity, he can't even farm.
The computer says... the computer says Lilgun has a 7% chance to win. We're just 15 minutes into the game. This is not like... It's not like an absolute stomp. You just don't have much coming out of your carry. Very untraditional carry as well. Maybe kicks on later with a couple items as well for 4-2-3. You still got a Morphling lineup as well. I mean, Morph can still do amazing things. You have Marcy on your team. Ace, who's very good with the Primal Beast. But 7%? I mean, we saw 7% last game, and we saw how far that took them. And here we go. This is going to get stomped and smashed. That's not a smash or pass.
Carlo was
But
as
then
well.
Carlo with a bushwhack on 2. Box there as well. Carlo about to drop for the first time. Yes, Sanctity's going to be getting it, as that's going to be a double for him. And looking for a triple on Bok. Will be getting it, as that is going to be 2 for 3 for the time being. And Asta won't have much of an impact here. Lilgun. Important kills for Sanctity. That buffs up the Morphling a lot. And the tower down too.
This is the timing for Lilgun, and they're still losing. So they have to be ramping up even more. Next fight, it's a fight into a Roche. Right now, they don't have the time to do it, but next fight, that is what they're gonna be gunning for. I like that Sanctity is getting farmed this way because someone needs to do the damage. In the end, it's gonna be him. Enchantress, if they're focusing on the Morphling, even with this small amount of farm, is going to be doing a lot of damage because, you know, when you see a support Enchantress with these kind of items, you are afraid of the damage that dishes out, but you know that you can kill her. Now, when there's a Morphling in front and the Visage there with a Wraith Pact as well, it's going to be hard to get into the backline. So Lilgun, they still got their timing. They're still going to get to play the game. And then actually, Panda, we are going to be seeing some Dota. It's not going to be a one-sided one.
6k lead into 4k for TNC after that previous fight, but they're unfazed, unhinged about what just happened. Lilgun, though, finally getting their guns, cleaning up those gun barrels for the last 15 minutes, and now getting rid of all the rust and all the dust. Marcy, pretty deep 11, also diving behind Carlo. Bushwhack on the familiars.
Top lane.
Smoking up, though. They're heading towards a potential target here. 4-2-3, once Bok. Bok juking around. Zombies will be killed. There's a tombstone available, but they're still hunting for Bok. Carlo, always in the right place at the right time, but right now, bushwhack on the Primal Beast, but Kiska's there. And Sanctity up on a mega kill streak now. 5-1 at 5. After that kill, and TNC behind the tower. 11, pretty deep though. He's got some backup right behind him. Unleashed does run out of the Marcy. They are sitting under a ward as well, so Lilgun doesn't get the jump on another kill for from TNC's side.
It's very weird to me that TNC are playing the top part of the map. I think this is the time of the game when you don't want to fight. And they're constantly on the top lane. And the top lane is exactly where Lilgun want to fight when they want to control the area. And now because of that constant fighting, you will lose the Roche pretty much for free. Though they are coming over and might be here just in time.
That's going to be Roshan taking Chris just a little bit too late for the party. Aegis on Sanctity. Chris there. They've got the bushwhack connecting onto 11. And the Sharpshooter's going to be there as well. The Lich ulti once again doing a lot of damage. 11 down. And Kisk also dropping very low in HP. Looking for Ace as well. Another bounce from the Chain Frost. And Mavis has a triple. Sanctity Aegis will pop. And Marcy's already outside of the fight. Kiska, there's not much to do. And Sanctity is going to be taking at least one with him. But that's going to be the Morphling down. TNC back on the driver's seat after that. Even if they missed Roshan, they got a very good team fight to follow up. That's a 4-for-2 trade-off. Make it 5 as Kiska's down as well. Bok will follow through. Chris will snipe it with a swashbuckle.
TNC, they don't need to constantly fight, but when the AM comes over and when Lilgun are in an uncomfortable position, you are going to be winning the fight. So in the end, TNC do get that fight. They don't get there in time to stop the Roche, but whenever a team is getting out of the Roche pit, they're at their most vulnerable, and we just saw it there. You know, Lilgun, they were winning fights over and over again, and just coming out of the pit into a Rolling Thunder, there was nothing they could do.
Mavis with that triple kill, basically just finished off a Glimmer Cape. So, you know, happy supports all around. They actually got a lot of net worth if you look at their numbers. All the heroes here. Even Ace almost has a Blink Dagger. Carlo, who was 3-0 and 7, now 3-3 and 12. 3 deaths with the last 5 assists he's picked up. What he's got on the career, oh, just a tone.
I'm so surprised that Lilgun are allowing the Chain Frost to bounce so much in the fights. If you look at their heroes, they're very mobile. It's like every single one of their heroes has a mobility spell, and the Enchantress is one of the faster heroes. So it's pretty weird that they allow the Chain Frost to do so much damage. That last fight, Mavis just crushed it, and every single time they're making a play, Lilgun, they get a little bit too close to each other and they're in so much trouble. TNC now they feel confident to play on the top lane, and they're coming from a good angle.
They see 11. This is the same ward that they've had down for quite some time. They're going to get the stuns onto the Visage with the Basher coming out from Kriz. With the Rolling Thunder connecting as well. 11 should be in trouble, but the Morphling as well! Sanctity!
No more
Morphling
damage on
losing his
Lilgun.
life, followed up by Kriz to get a double kill, and 4-2-3 TP cancelled. Enchantress nowhere to go, nowhere to hide.
Magic is an abomination.
This was just a cool move from TNC and Lilgun. I mean, their lineup, it had its timing, and at that point, even though they were behind, they could fight. Now, the timing is kind of slipped away from them, and in that timing, when it slipped away, they went to the low ground to try to push. It is just not something you can do. If they had the Aegis, if they didn't lose the previous fight, sure. But in this kind of a scenario, stay in that area, try to farm, and hope that TNC come over and over again, that you force them into errors and that you can get this game back. Because with this kind of a lead, Lilgun, they cannot show themselves first. They have to be the ones to strike, and they don't really have good heroes for it, so you have to play around your own vision.
So, Anti-Mage with his Vanguard, basically one piece closer to the Abyssal Blade once he wants to build it up. But a Manta, Battle Fury, pretty healthy looking AM, 13,000 net worth, 221 last hits in 22 minutes and 10 seconds. 2-2-1's all aboard. And goodbye 4-2-3. Sharpshooter into the Lich ulti and the Mana Void from the Anti-Mage. That's a fast 2,000 damage dealt.
Morph is going for an axe, but a little bit too late. If he had it before the Manta, I'd understand it. Playing as the Anti-Mage, getting more attack speed, being a better Anti-Mage than the Anti-Mage himself is great. But I guess you wanted the Manta as well. Still, look at Kishka. He has found Krish. I don't think they can get the kill, though.
Yeah, it is a difficult one. Unleash has been used.
They have to run.
Oh, what was that blink by Ace? I think he just clicked on top. Oh! Ooh.
Did you say something, Panda? He's a genius.
He is an
You don't
absolute
understand.
maniac. That works even better. Bamboozled. Sanctity. Half of his HP already gone for the Sharpshooter, but he's life-stealing back with a very hefty amount here. Taking down the Tombstone. He's also got his own down on the ground. Lich is trying to make an approach onto the Morphic, but Mavis gets the taunt out. The bash comes out from Kriz, and there's the Decay, and there with the Frost Blast. He will take down Sanctity. So yeah, Primal Beast might make his way out, but they got a bigger prize.
We have to be stopping to question these gods of Dota. First, the Primal Beast just absolutely demolishes that Pango with the best blink in the
So
world.
you would literally blink 1 meter to the right and stay on the same high ground as you did, right?
Yeah, because the thing was, he was gonna be pushed down, and then he comes back. I think he thought that the Pango was gonna go over him, right? And then he would TP away. The Pango did find him, because the trees did go down, but still he got himself to the low ground and then to the high ground again and was able to TP out. So it was a genius move in the end.
Oh, bit of Kale here on this end with the heroes just running on their
Again,
place, but apparently we're
Chain Frost.
fighting. And Mavis just makes it look so easy. I mean, they're literally just handing themselves for the Lich to blow them up.
You see this eye on top of his head? It mesmerizes you.
Look at these Lich stats. 8, 4, and 12. That is just that is impressive. I mean, even if your enemies are handing them out to you and getting these kills, that's pretty damn impressive for a Lich.
True. Mavis's positioning, Mavis's understanding when to use spells is in
4-2-3 again. Even if they cut down the tree, almost catching the Enchantress, but that's going to be 11 losing his life, and it's just getting stun locked by Chris. Asta's walking in, Malabot's available, and that's going to be 4-3 gone. The tower goes down. TNC with the 20k lead. They're going to go high ground here.
That's a really fair assessment here, Panda. I think you got that right. So, TNC, I think this game is over, though. It was over ever since Lilgun needed to throw out lives to get a tier 1 on the top lane. That is just not how the game should have went. But they went with a weird draft. They lost the lanes completely. And then it was just Sanctity trying to salvage it. In the end, they just couldn't do anything. You're throwing away lives to get the towers because you can't play Dota otherwise. And at some point, TNC are just going to be way too stronger. And that point has come a little bit too early.
Yeah, AM has the Lincolns now as well. So you have Lincolns and Counterspell. Basically, Morphling has to use an ability first before going for the morph, for the replicate. So there's just nothing that they can do to stop this push. At least the tier 3 taken. Range Rax down a half HP. Rax are still up. They are defenseless though.
Illusion.
The question is, if you have an Axe, do you have a Blink fragment from the Anti-Mage?
Good question.
I guess we're gonna find out, but I think if you do, and you should, this Morphling is gonna be a problem to deal with. You steal 20% attack speed from the Anti-Mage, you send in your own illusions, and Anti-Mage really hates playing against his own illusions. Thus, he hates playing against the Shadow Demon, so could be really cool there. Plus, of course, the Enchantress is there to steal one of those as well.
Yeah, I guess the story is that everybody hates a turncoat.
Yeah, for sure.
Fact, at least is that the remember like a lot of TB games where you play against the anti-mage and use reflection. Basically, just make the AM hit himself. He takes a lot of damage from the mana burn, plus the right click stealth. Probably even worse in the hands of this Morphling. But backdoor is up for at least a second. It's off now. Asta pushing the range ranks. Kishka's there. Lincoln's is still up. Can't get the grab. Marcy's dead.
Come on, Sanctity, we want to see it. Let's go.
Just want to see the interaction. That's all they want. That's all we want. Morphling all the way back to the fountain. There's a Lonely Familiar with a mini stun on the anti-mage. Tombstone in the front line. 4-2-3 might have a specialist array. That's a massive cooldown at neutral item though. Sanctity's already taking damage. Marcy coming in the buyback. Chris waiting in the trees. They pop the Lincolns and AM is out. Now the diving comes in. They will find Chris at the tree line. Tango, look at that bushwhack. Look at Carlo making absolutely mental plays because Lilgun's handing themselves out for this and Chris will clean him out. GG, they've had it. This series is tied 1-1. We follow the 1-1 tie for the entire day. They did not get to see the Enchantress work out as a carry roll for Lilgun. TNC took 28 minutes to finally win this one.
It got very close to it working out, I have to say. Just kidding, of course. It wasn't even close to Lilgun. They just couldn't do anything in this game. I can't blame it on the carry Enchantress, to be honest. There's just so many other things that went wrong for the side of Lilgun in this game, and I think Asta, the decision to go for the Vanguard so that you can pressure the top lane was just such a game-winning play that it is insane. Sometimes things like that can backfire, but if they work out, you just know that you have won. At that point, the game was pretty much over, even though Lilgun got a chance to play the game, but still TNC from start to finish in this game too, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, that being said, the series ends up being a tie 1-1. We did get full-on ties throughout this entire day, and I mean, game 1 was wild, but game 2 was I think a bit lackluster, at least to some points. But you know, TNC they cleanly played this one out. Lilgun maybe a bit too ambitious with their draft. Like, I like the Morphling idea. I just didn't see the Enchantress even have like a good success, but still. Marcy Visage, they didn't get the game that they were hoping for because this is a really good lane duo. And I feel like it just got dismantled by TNC already from the start.
Yeah, twice in a row. Twice in a row. It didn't work out for them. So that is a problem. It goes to show that I think if you have a first pick, you open up with the Marcy, and then if you see that it's gonna be a solid Visage game, you take it. Because every single time there is a Visage picked in the second pick, the enemies are gonna respond with something that is gonna help you both games. And in this scenario, it has been a Pango. One thing though, Panda, I went into the lobby to check because I had to know, and you do not get the blink fragment if you're the the Morphling with an axe. So I really had to know, and him not getting a chance to use it there. I was getting really annoyed. Like use it. No, not gonna be happening in the end. You know, it was just impossible given how well AM was playing.
Well, that cleans out the entire day. Boom versus HE was a tie. Execration Neon was a tie. Lilgun DNC was a tie. So yesterday 2-0s, today 1-1s. What will happen tomorrow as BTS Pro Series SEA continues? We've got pretty much the same teams playing again. We are not going to get to see Hokori yet. That's going to be on September the 24th, so not tomorrow, but the day after. We've got Boom versus TNC right away at the start of the day. Lilgun will face off against Neon. And Execration versus Army Geniuses. So basically, all the teams that we're playing today going to go for a bit of a shuffle as we're playing round robin. Every team plays against each other's, and we're going to get the top 8 out of the top 9. I'm sorry, out of the 9 teams. The top 8 will continue to the playoffs. So only 2 days behind. But what are your primary thoughts, Harry? Because we're going to be handing over the casting pair for Rob and Otomo for the next couple of days. What do you think about the first 2 days of action?
Well, given that, as you mentioned, a lot of the same teams are playing, usually how it goes when you're scheduling a tournament, that is how it goes. Some teams plays like 5 days in a row, and then they don't play at all until the group stages end. But what is shown, and it's always the same in Southeast Asia, is that every team can win, right? This region is so competitive. You have these teams, Boom Esports, Fnatic, and teams can get games off of them. I don't think they can get a series off of them, but they can't get games, and that is, I think, the primary thing and what makes this region so nice to watch. So I think that doesn't change in this tournament either. And like always, the BTS Pro season in Southeast Asia is going to be an amazing one.
I hope so as well. $40,000 on the line for this tournament.
And also, you were faking that you were sick. You can cast just well.
Yeah, right. Okay, don't get me caught up like that. Don't get me caught up like that. It's been a lot of fun for the last 2 days. Robin Otomo is going to be taking care of you guys for a couple of series, and me and Harry we'll actually be back, I think, at the very later parts of the tournament.
Yeah.
We've got a couple other co-casters dropping in between. I'm going to miss you, Harry. But, got to give some people a chance as well. Only a limited amount of days. We've got some pretty interesting personalities coming in, so tune in for those. We'll be back on the 26th of September with a different co-caster. It's going to be a surprise. You'll probably recognize and know who he is. There's no more tips regarding that. But some hot games are coming up as well tomorrow. More games here at the SEA Pro Series, brought to you by Beyond the Summit, BTS. Put the follow on the channel. Make sure you follow Harry Freak as well on Twitter. This guy's been solo casting like a madman since yesterday, and all of today. Basically, I just tuned in for some mental support. I guess that's what we could put it this way. I hope you guys have enjoyed. We've had a lot of fun, and see you for some more Dota. But until then, everybody, take care of yourselves. Good night, and, well, I guess I could say bye-bye.